What's good, YouTube? Today we're going to be testing out yet another variation on the fairy deck that I've been working with lately. It's kind of partially inspired by a couple of things. The elephant in the room being the new Release from Stone rock deck, I guess. But instead of Release from Stone, we have Miraculous Descent with the fairy deck. So essentially, the plan is to banish our fairies using Freed, Soul of Purity and Light, and then, Dim Alk or just whatever else. They get hit with Caius, I guess, or Bottomless too. That can also fuel it. So we banish our fairies with stuff. We can also banish it with Cyber Valley, I guess, too. And then we bring them back with Miraculous Descent. It's like a pseudo Call of the Haunted or like a bad return. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah, it's basically a similar idea to the rock deck, but instead of bringing back Fossil Dyna, you bring back like Christia and Recruiters, essentially. So it's not a bad idea. I think I also had a guy who submitted a replay to What Are They Cooking, where they're playing like Christia Sworn with Miraculous Descent. So I guess this is what originally got me thinking about this, but it ultimately resulted in this build, which more so resembles the classic fairy deck, just kind of maxing out on Soul of Purity and Light, so that we can enable Miraculous Descent. And I played the deck. I honestly don't think it's terrible. It may or may not be, it probably in the current state is inferior to just playing normal fairies. Of course, I just threw this together in like 30 minutes or something, maybe even less. I didn't really make a whole lot of edits or whatever, but this is the list we came up with. So we are playing Raikou to mill, and I'm beginning to wonder if I even need to play this full like charge Raikou thing. I might actually take it out and put something else in because I wasn't super impressed with it. I felt like we didn't actually need that level of milling, but maybe it's weird. It's like if you have Card Trooper, that's pretty good, but then Charge is super free as well, and I kind of wanted to go the whole way with it. But I can see just cutting Charge in 2 of the Raikous in the future. We have to have 3 Soul, of course, to enable this, and then Freed, I just decided to play 1 with Rhoda and 1 Warrior Lady as well, and then the Warrior Lady can also get off of Shining Angel and stuff too. Maybe you could cut like 2 of the Raikous in the charge and just go on 3 Warrior Lady. I don't think that would be a terrible thing to do. But for what we had, this is what we went with. And we are playing the Cyber Valley Minecon, whatever. And then we also have Gore's Trag because our trap lineup's relatively low. We're just on these like 5 special summon traps and then Torrential Dust Shoot. So that's the list, and we're going to be looking at a couple replays that I had with it. First match was a match against Instant Fusion Zombie, and I'm just now finding out they were playing Dark Illusion in here. Okay, wild. I think we just start with setting Warrior Lady. With hands like this, it's almost always better to summon Warrior Lady first. Just because, if they go like set a monster, it's best to just flip Warrior Lady, attack it. And then also it can get Dim Alk live and stuff too. And then we can just proactively ram this angel to get Christie alive whenever we want. So they swing in with Mizuki. I decide to Warrior Lady banish. We go summon the Dimensional Alchemist, banish a card. We hit a fairy, so right off the bat, the Miraculous Descent is live, and that's why we are playing 3 Dimensional Alchemists, because you can just get lucky like that. The fairy count's actually pretty high. I mean, I think there's 18 fairies in here, so yeah, very nice. We just hit a Recruiter. Opponent goes for Caius, but the Miraculous Descent is going to let us revive Recruiter, and then they just don't attack it. So here we go for the Crash, which is good because it gets the Miraculous Descent off the field, which means Gores is going to be live. They go Compulse, which is fine because we can just re-summon and then set. They go for Deep Sea Diva. Maybe I should have set this in defense mode. It kind of telegraphed the Honest, and then also plays into BrainCon. So they just go for Dark End. We activate Miraculous Descent. They Judgment my Miraculous Descent, but now we get to drop Gores, so we're really chilling. And unless this is Mirror Force, he's in big trouble. And even if it is Mirror Force, it's not fantastic for him because we can just summon Freed and stuff, or summon and pop the Dark End. He just scoops it up there, though. We run over everything because it's the Dark Illusion, and then he's on nothing, so he scoops it up. We go to Game 2. Game 2 is interesting. We open all of our back row hate. So I decided to just set the Storm, I think. I actually attack thinking that this deck doesn't play Deep Prison, but they then had Deep Prison, which it doesn't really matter. One of the reasons I think Deep Prison sucks is because it's like you would just never attack if you weren't okay with losing your card to Deep Prison, and we just kind of observed that happening. So opponent goes for Kai's. We have Orange Light to protect. Very nice. We flip the Honest, poke, and then I think we just reset the Honest. No, we just set the Typhoon. I don't want to like take fairies out of my graveyard right now because Christie is almost alive. We draw into Torrential. So here I decide, since he just like stormed my field to summon Zombie Master and poke, which is really not a good play, that we can just drop this, run that over, have Torrential set, and then MST and Storm are both gone, so we're like guaranteed to get good value out of this Torrential Tribute. So we resolved the Torrential because we had to stop Dad, right? He just dropped Dad and then went for it, so we had to Torrential that. So kind of a -1 play for us there. But we have returned from the different dimension straight off the top of the deck, and he's going to get cooked by this, obviously. We just summon like 4 guys, and then we go Brio Christia, and then we can like draw 2 as well if we want to do that. But we just have lethal with what's on the field right here. We have 23 into 18 is 41. Into 28 is 6,900 damage, and the opponent is only on 67, and they can't drop Gores because there's a Christia on the board, so that is going to be lights out. Big RFDD play. That's why we play that card. If you're watching, Mr. Thomas Darn. Although, it's probably better in here because we're on triple soul, but still, RFDD, good card, wins games. Second match here up against Flamvell. Now, I do believe that I won the RPS this time, so I'm going to be going first, and my hand is kind of eh. I make a play that I thought was bad at the time where I just set the Raikou, but since I'm playing against one of these like flip heavy decks, actually setting Raikou first was really good. He maybe should have just attacked with Magician, but we Raikou the Magician, so it's kind of the same. This Raikou doesn't give me any value in any case. Actually, getting the mills here with the Raikou was good, though. We got 2 fairies set up in the graveyard, which means Soul is live, which also means we can go Brio Christie here. Now, I'm like 100% sure I actually punted. I think we had some kind of weird line to lethal here, probably. I don't know. I didn't see it at the time, or I thought we had it anyway or something, and I just like played fast and misplayed. But yeah, I think we screwed up, and we should have had game here, because now we're in an awkward spot if he has brain control, which he does have. He made a weird play, though. He actually decided to not use the Caius. Instead, he uses the Brionac to bounce the Christia, then he attacks. Then he just has Brio bounce himself, which this seems normal up until now. Like, it makes sense to just bounce and then set the spy, but then he goes for this rekindling thing in main 2, which seems like it plays into a lot. He just goes for Colossal Bounce, and then obviously we can just banish that Honest, bring back the Honest with Miraculous Descent, use the Honest effect to bounce itself, and then now we just have lethal damage over the guy. And I think we had other lines as well beyond just that, but that just seemed like the most obvious one to me. So game 2, he starts out set. We go Mind Control. This was a super greedy Mindcon play, actually, because I guess the thinking is either it's Raikou, and we get like a pseudo plus half a card or something, since the Raikou flipped face up is not really a card. Or it's not Raikou, we could like Synchro for Goyo, I guess, but in hindsight, that seemed like a super crazy play. So I just kill the back row here, go in, and then set Torrential, and then try to bluff that I have Honest. I don't have Honest, so it would have been a little awkward if he just like made Stardust here. I think I would have had to go for the Torrential and then Orange Light play, and then we could have dropped... Would we have been able to drop Christia? No. Yeah, would Torrential Orange Light have even been right? I don't know. Maybe it would have been better to hold on to Torrential Orange Light for later. So here we go for Honest over into Orange Light, because that puts us to 4 fairies. And this only really loses to, like, DD Crow or something. Or, again, if he has Brain Control, I guess. So we hit in. He has that Raikou to out my Christia. Okay, we just go in for 1,700. And I do believe that he ends up dropping Sork here, banishing my guy. Okay, then summons Dog. Now, very crucially, I didn't flip the Torrential here, because if I had, and he had Rekindling, which he does have, we would have just lost the duel, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we would have just died if we had flipped this Torrential early. So it's better to save it anyway, because we can normal summon our Honest into our own Torrential, into Special Christia. I maybe should have added Orange Light in case he had like another Raikou or something, I guess. I just felt like getting another normal summon, though, just to guarantee that we had lethal, but the chances of drawing another normal summon are probably higher than just, like, drawing another Orange Light, so maybe I should have just added the Orange Light. Anyway, we go for Dim Alk, and then we banish, and then we attack, and then we have lethal, so we end up taking the Swift 2-0 versus the Flamvell deck. I also have one other match. This one was unfortunate because the opponent did leave after game 1, spoilers, but, it was still a decent best of 1 in, like, a kind of tough matchup. I think Quick Draw Plants is basically the hardest fairy matchup out there, which is definitely good for the fairy deck because that deck isn't super common. So you're like not usually going to run into it in an event, but opponent flips up Dandy, they attack, we kill their back row. Okay, we draw second Dim Alk, not great. We're starting to draw too many normal summons here. We run over the Dandy. Here they summon Debris, and I maybe should have just Orange Lighted this, but I thought, no, I'm going to be greedy with my Storm. Because I can just like Storm Orange Light and then out everything. But I could have just Orange Lighted that and then we wouldn't have had to deal with this whole Stardust problem. So he says Judgment, okay, we summon Dimalk, and then we don't hit over Stardust, we just hit a token. Maybe I should just hit over Stardust there. I probably should have just hit over Stardust there, actually. Yeah, I think that was also... We did some whack stuff this game in hindsight. Opponent goes for Avarice after Raikoing my thing. They don't summon Sangan attack, and then they make a huge mistake where they play around Gores even though it's in my graveyard. I wish I had Trag. Trag would have been so good, actually. I mean, he had Book, I guess, to stop it, but... We go for Christia after forcing out the Solemn Judgment. Unfortunately, he did have Solemn, so he couldn't just go for the Stardust negate into Orange Light, negate that, into wipe everything. But we're still in a decent spot because Christia is just live right now. Like, there's just 4 fairies, or there was, chilling in the grave. So we drop Christia. It eats Bottomless. I add back the other Christia, actually. And then we go try to attack here. His Book. Okay, whatever. He draws into another Avarice, and then here he swings over. We get the second Orange Light. So now we could conceivably do some like double Orange Light play where we force out Stardust and then we Orange Light the Stardust. Or we try to Orange Light something and then they try to Stardust my Orange Light and then we Orange Light that Stardust. So here we bring down Christia again and we summon Dimalk. Maybe I should have attacked with Christia first. I don't know. Because then this play wouldn't have worked because I would have just used Honest or Rammed or something. But I think for a long time on this turn. And then I decide to just drop this. We get Torrentialed. They chain Typhoon. They could have tried to make Dimalk this timing here, maybe. They could have gone like Chain Link 1 Typhoon, Stardust negate, then Chain Torrential, then Dimalk misses timing. And I have to like end phase Orange Light the Stardust and I can't drop Christia. But now we just get to add Soul and win. So yeah, that's... I mean, we drop Soul, we drop Christia, and the game is over. And then the opponent, unfortunately, has to bid us farewell there. But yeah, it was like a decent match. Again, I said into a bad matchup. So those were the games that I had with the Miraculous Descent Christia deck. I thought that it seemed reasonably good, honestly. I think the inspiration from the Release from Stone thing has definitely been valuable. You know, just like having a trap that lets you just summon a guy. Not too bad in Edison format, turns out. I might be trying out something similar with, what's the card called? Escape from the Dark Dimension soon. I've been brewing that as well, so that could potentially be a cool idea for a future video. But that's all I got for you today. As always, let me know what you thought in the comment section. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Furthermore, if you enjoy my content, you should think about becoming a channel member. You get access to tons of bonus content, and it's a great way to help support the channel.